Hello listeners, I welcome you in the class of Techniques for Leading a Group Discussion. In this topic of group discussion, you would get to know about techniques for leading group discussion, elements of effective group discussion, possible uses of group discussion and many more. Now let's talk about effective group discussion. What is an effective group discussion? An effective group discussion is one in which the group is able to accomplish its purpose or to establish a basis either for ongoing discussion or for further contact and collaboration among its members. Now, what are the elements of effective group discussion? All members of the group have a chance to speak, expressing their own ideas and feelings freely, and to pursue and finish out their thoughts. All members of the group can hear others' ideas and feelings stated openly. Group members can safely test out ideas that are not yet fully formed. The elements of effective group discussion are: group members can receive and respond to respectful but honest and constructive feedback. A variety of points of view are put forward and discussed. The discussion is dominated by any one of person. So these are the elements of an effective group discussion. Now, what are the elements of an effective group discussion? Arguments, while they may be spirited, they are based on the content of ideas and opinions, but not on the personalities. Even in disagreement, there is an understanding that the group is working together to resolve a dispute, solve a problem, create a plan, make a decision, find a precept or set of precepts. All can agree on or come to a conclusion from which it can move on. Now, the possible uses for a group discussion are: create a new situation, form a coalition, start an initiative, etc. Explore cooperative or collaborative arrangements among groups or the organizations. Discuss and analyze an issue. Create a strategic plan for an initiative, an advocacy campaign, an intervention, etc. Discuss policy and policy change. The possible uses for a group discussion are to be continued. Air concerns and differences among individuals or groups. Hold the public hearings on proposed laws or regulations, development, etc. Decide on an action. Provide mutual support. Solve a problem. Resolve a conflict. Plan your work or an event. Now, why should you lead a group discussion? Here are some few points which will tell you why you should lead a group discussion. A group discussion gives everyone involved a voice. A group discussion allows for a variety of ideas to be expressed and discussed. Group discussion is generally a democratic, egalitarian process. A group discussion leads to group ownership of whatever conclusions, plans, or action the group decides upon. An effective group discussion encourages those who might normally be reluctant to speak their minds. Group discussions can often open communication channels among people who might not communicate in any other way. In some cases, a group discussion is simply the obvious or even the only way to proceed. You might lead a group discussion because of some few points. It can be a part of your job. You have been asked to do it. A discussion is necessary and you have the skills to lead it. It was your idea in the first place. Some people who find themselves leading a group discussion should be directors of the organizations, the public officials, coalition coordinators, professionals with group leading skills, teachers, health professionals and health educators, respected community members, community activists. So when might you lead a group discussion? You might start the group discussion when an issue can no longer be ignored. When the groups need to be brought together. When an existing group is considering its next step or seeking to address an issue of importance to it. At the start of the something new. Now, how do you lead a group discussion? Let me tell you a few points. If you have the opportunity to prepare beforehand, then choose the space. Provide food and drink. Bring materials to help the discussion along. Become familiar with the purpose and content of the discussion. Make sure everyone gets any necessary information, readings, or other material in plenty of time to study it well beforehand. Besides, you may also provide clear guidelines for participation. Discuss them beforehand, stick to them, and enforce them during the discussion. Maintain an atmosphere of safety and respect. Control the talkers and call on the non-talkers. But if a non-talker isn't ready to contribute, don't persist. Consider taking notes of main points on a chalkboard or overhead, but if you do, write everyone's ideas down. Towards the end of the discussion, review the main ideas, the thread of the discussion, and conclusion. Now, some general guidelines are: think about the leadership style. Put people at ease. Help the group develop ground rules. Generate an agenda or goals for the discussion. You should lead the discussion. Set the topic. Foster the open process. Involve all participants. Ask questions or provide information to move the discussion. Summarize and or clarify important points and conclusions. Wrap up the session and do follow up if necessary. The do's for the discussion leaders are: model the behavior and attitudes you want group members to employ. Use encouraging body language and tone of voice as well as words. Give positive feedback for joining the discussion. Be aware of people's reactions and feelings and try to respond appropriately. Ask open-ended questions. Control your own biases. Encourage disagreement and help the group use it creatively. Be a recorder if necessary. Keep your mouth shut as much as possible. And the don'ts for the discussion leaders are: don't let one or a small group of individuals dominate the discussion. Don't let one point of view override others. Don't assume that anyone holds particular opinions or positions because of his culture, background, race, personal style, etc. By the same token, don't assume that someone from a particular culture, race, or background speaks for everyone else from that situation. Thank you for listening.